Excellent. So I'm very excited to get started with this one and to announce a CPQ Briefing Subscription today. Today is June 24th, 2025, and let me do a quick introduction for anyone who doesn't know me. My name is Frank Sohn. I'm an industry analyst, and I have worked with CPQ solutions now for almost 30 years. I have worked in different areas of business transformation, mainly most configure, price, quote, but also in other areas. And I have hands-on experience on the business as well as on the IT side since I worked on both sides over there. And for the last 10 years, I have started a company called Novus CPQ Consulting, and we work with many different CPQ vendors, system integrators, customers, and also some higher education facilities to spread the knowledge about CPQ. So much about that. What is the briefing subscription? So it is a concise two-page vendor brief. You see this example that I brought up over here from Conga. What we want to do is we really want to focus to 80% on CPQ and 20% complementary tools. So what does complementary tools mean here? That could be something that's more looking for visualization, someone who's adding contract lifecycle management capabilities. That could be someone who's adding billing capabilities. It could be someone who's integrating PLM or um, CAT tools or something like that, right? So the majority will be focused on CPQ. That's where the knowledge is there, but we have lots of adjacent tools that really work often with CPQ tools, and they are covered in this subscription as well. So now the thing is also to keep in mind how that's put together. We have a 1 hour briefing, which each vendor that's covered here, and they do typically a mix of information sharing as well as short demos out of their solution. Many of these vendors I've known for years, and I've seen many of the demos before, but this time is the first time that we have formalized this. It is a two-page document, and when you sign up for the subscription, then you will have access to all these documents. So that's access for one person to access all the documents for the period of 12 months. And I tell you a little bit more here in a sec. Why did we even come up with this subscription? So the idea was, and I was trying to put this in here on the lower right, you see like the Conga information that I used was previously called Aptus, and we had a document, a PDF document that provided information about CPQ vendors and the system integrators they are working with, right? So that list that had seen high interest over the years. So when we discontinued it, it had over 11,000 downloads. So now we did not have that information anymore, but customers were still asking for it, and not just customers. There were also investors. People who integrated want to know something about solution, then other vendors want to benchmark themselves against others and so on, right? So many people ask for this, but they also wanted to have a little bit more information than what's in than what was in this previous list. So um, we thought so that justifies to formalize the process a little bit more and make it accessible for more people. And also on top of that, as when customers come to us and we help them to select the CPQ solution, what we see regularly is that buyers rely on Google. That I would say is the most common that people really heavily rely on Google, find information over there. They're looking for online review sites, and that could be all different kinds of sites depending on what they know, where they are, what they prefer. Some also, especially when they are in larger firms, they look for analyst reports. That could be large ones, could be small ones. But it's whatever you got over there, there's mostly already some thinking behind it. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to provide a little bit of information at the beginning of this project for new customers so that they learn about the solution and see if that's where they want to spend more time on, right? So this is not where you decide at the end which solution you're going to pick. So this is at the very early stages of the buying or information gathering process where you want to see what's around there And then you have already some very high level and but very high quality information as well that provides you more information about the the solution you're interested in or multiple solutions, right? Um, what we've done before that was we mostly had meetings one-on-one with the vendors. They showed us their solution, we made notes, and then when customers came to us, we shared that with them. So that's not scalable. That's why we now go ahead and have the standard subscription. So we probably spend on each briefing, I would say, probably 3 hours, maybe four, to put this together. And then you have these documents all available in one place. Now, what's the goal here, right? So with this information, what we want to make sure is mostly three goals, right? So we want to clarify the CPQ vendor landscape because we see often that customers or other vendors or investors, right, really don't have a clear picture on the CPQ vendor landscape. So we want to help them understand who the key players are, what they offer, and how they are different without bias or marketing fluff, right? So we really want to provide the clear picture. So the long-term goal would be to have all CPQ vendors in here. Since I know how challenging that is, that's not what we even set up as an official goal, right? So I think we have, and you will see that in a minute here, a number of reports available right now or briefing documents, and then we will have more soon, and we will have a fairly decent amount that probably covers 80-90% of what most people are looking for. We also want to help accelerate making because we see, especially in the beginning, as it's overwhelming when somebody starts looking into the CPQ landscape and really finds out what solutions are available. And so we want them to come faster to a smaller list. Smaller list in this case may mean 8 to 10 firms that are really realistic that you should start with as a customer if you want to buy something. And it may also mean that when you're, as an investor, see which companies are startups, do they have investments, do they not have investments? You learn this information earlier. And if you're looking to benchmark yourself against others, that should also happen faster. And these briefing documents will help with that, right? And then I think what's also not to neglect is that you have a scalable, standardized intelligence. So you have these reports, they are all 2 pages long. We had initially 3 pages, but customers told us it's too much, especially early in the process when you're just starting to look into CPQ solutions or related solutions, as I said, then you don't want to read through 20 or 30-page documents, right, and get all the details about the vendor because you're not even sure if that's slightly what you need. So in this case is really what you want to have is you want to have a short report that gives you enough information to see does it make sense to continue looking into this vendor. And that's what it's meant for, right? And I mostly talk from a CPQ customer perspective, but as I've mentioned now multiple times, it's also used for other purposes as well. So we have these three goals are the main goals. You could probably mention some more, but I leave it at these three. Now, what I want to tell you is so the briefing subscription is now available. We have a number of vendors that you can buy today on the website when you sign up for the subscription. So we have Bid to Win, we have Conga, Engineering Intent, iQuote Express, Kugumon, New.io, Salesforce, Revenue Cloud Advanced, Solcita, SAP CPQ, and 3Kit. These are available right now. There are others which become available very soon. I'm still working on that and hopefully have the finishing touches on this very soon. That's from Configure, DealHub, L-Squad, Pros, and Vendavo. And then we have scheduled a ton of other briefing meetings with vendors until early September. It's actually more than 20. To mention here is maybe Infor, Tacton, Monetize Now, Hive, CPQ, and Zilliant as more, and there are more, right? So, and the goal is to have 40 to 50 of these vendor briefings published by the end of 2025, and I'm pretty sure we will get there because you can already see we have 10 right now, we have 5 in the pipeline, so it's 15. Then we have 20 over here, so that should be 35, and then we will schedule more, and we still have then at least 3 months left, right? So October, November, December, and I would expect that that will add at least another 10 to 15. So I'm pretty sure we will reach our goal, maybe even more. We will see that. But one thing to keep in mind is if you have signed up for the subscription, you will have access to all of the reports. So just to be very clear on this one. Then I also wanted to give you a quick example over here with the use cases, right? So CPQ Briefing Subscription, the shortlist support, that's for customers, right? So what I typically see is that we have customers that come with 8 vendor names, some have 10, 15, even 20, and they want to narrow it down so that they can actually start working with it. What most do is they look online, they find information, they know they get information from consulting companies they work with, they get recommendations uh, from colleagues, from others they work with, but now they have to pay someone probably high fees, expert fees to shortlist the support. So shortlist in this case, keep in mind that would be anywhere between 6 and 8 or 5 to 8 firms where we would say this is good enough to really um, start working with this list instead of working with 10 or 20, right? So that's what customers want to use it for, and the ones we talked to so far already see some good benefit with that. Then you have market awareness for users as also for other vendors. I see that also sometimes with customers, large customers who signed up for our other subscriptions, they want to know what's happening in the CPQ world in general, not just with their solution that has different reasons. Sometimes they just want to see what the competition is doing. If the company is up to date, they want to know early enough what's on different roadmaps and if that's still aligning with their goals and so on. Uh, Others just want to monitor the market and use this, right? So that's more for um, CPQ vendors and large CPQ users, customers that really want to keep an eye on the market. And then last but not least, we see considerable interest from investors. They want to get insights, which teams are out there, what's each team doing, how does that compare to others? Are there any fast-growing vendors? And if so, what do they do? Where are they located? What do they focus on? And so on. So they use it more as an additional um, research resource, right? So these are the typical use cases. There may be more, but that's what we have run into so far. So now what we think it's exceptional value, that's no surprise. That's also a little bit self-serving, the statement. I know that, but I think it really has a good value if you're interested in CPQ. You want to stay on top of what's there because you have access to all vendor briefings for 12 months. You pay $500 to get all of this. That's a fraction of what you would pay normally for expert fees, right? So I think the typical rate is around 200 an hour. And then you would need to talk to each and every vendor yourself, so you couldn't do that too if you would do it on your own. And in this case, I think that's why it presents an exceptional value. It saves you hours of research. In this case, I've worked with it for, as I said, 30 years since 96, right? So almost 30, not quite, but almost. And in this case, I'm trying to give you what I see based on the experience that I've had over the years as someone who's worked on the IT side, on the business side, as an industry analyst, as a customer. So I worked with all different perspectives on CPQ solutions. So I'm just trying to provide information that helps you to reach your goals faster. So I'm not trying to promote the company. I'm not trying um, to push anyone. So in this case, is really you should get the information, unbiased information, and so that you can make a decision for yourself without any help to see who should be on your shorter list before you actually go then to your decision list, which is probably three vendors at the end, right? So you can start the subscription by sending an email either to info@novuscpq.com, or you can go to the website now. So what is important to note here, I know I've heard that from a couple of folks that they were saying the website is not really um, super smooth just yet. We know that we're still looking into other alternatives, how to make it a little bit smoother. Nevertheless, it works and you will get it quickly. We've tried it with a couple of people. It works. So just send an email to one of these addresses over here or go to the website and order it yourself, and then that should work fairly quickly. It will potentially have some glitches here because it's new, but as I said, so we're working on this, trying to make it smoother, but you will have all the information. So in the 499 was for one person to get access to these files, but I think most companies only need one person anyway to get this data, so that should be fine. Now, I hold on for a minute. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? And I don't have anything right now, and I don't want to make up stuff here for the subscription. I'm pretty sure we will have questions as this goes live as of today, and then if and as needed, we will have a separate session to address any questions that pop up. I want to thank everyone for attending the webinar today. And I kept it a little bit shorter than I thought it would be, which I think is a good thing. So that saves every one of you time. But at least there was a short explanation what it is good for. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any problems, send me an email and at frank.zone@novuscpq.com, and I will try to answer as quickly as I can, or send it to info@novuscpq.com. That will be answered also very quickly. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you what your life experience will be with the CPQ Briefing subscription.